What's up, Ablation Nation? It's Kevin from Project Laser, and we have a two-part series where we're removing soot from this property. Part 1 is the external of the property, and part 2 we'll be doing the inside. This house fire was started by an electric scooter that went up in smoke in the garage and then spread across to the home. We just received a CW laser, and these things were cool because they could get a 300mm beam. What we found out is that they are completely ineffective at removing soot. They massively discolor the brick, and well, they just don't work. So you can see the comparison between what our 4Jet did and some of the CW work, which was absolutely nothing. You can see here is the rough cleaning speed we're going at in the real world with this heavy level of soot. One thing you may notice is that I'm cleaning from quite a far distance from the surface, and this is because I chose to use the 300mm lens, which allows us to have a wider beam path. A wider beam path obviously equals quicker cleaning speeds. What I learned after an hour or so was that it wasn't as clean as it should have been, so I actually had to go back and clean a whole area that I'd previously cleaned with this 300mm lens. Changed to a 200mm lens, which obviously is shorter focal distance. The beam path is not as wide, and ultimately we're a little bit slower. Thankfully for us, we were getting into an area where the soot was a lot lighter. So initially the fire had come through the ceiling and burnt the wall, so there was a lot of soot as well as fire damage. At this point, it was just the smoke had wafted along the edge of the building. So we just cleaned about 4 meters of heavy stuff, and then about 11, 12 meters of the lighter soot, and then obviously the roof. The beauty of using this 4Jet laser is it's amazing on pine. It's any light colored wood. We can have the settings cranked up really high if we wanted to, and we wouldn't damage the wood. Now it was actually time to move to the worst affected side of the home. There was a lot more heat on this side. There was a lot of ceiling that was damaged and would need replacing, as well as the combination of an awful amount of heat with this heavy amount of soot proved to be quite a tough obstacle to overcome. So for us, we had to first dial in the laser. We were using an unusual amount of energy to remove this soot. So we really had to find the fine line between discoloring the bricks, which is obviously not a good thing, and removing the soot at an effective speed. To do this, we had to go backwards and forwards to the machine, dial it in. Once it's dialed in, obviously it's nice and repeatable. Normally there's no difference when we're removing soot, whether it's a light layer of soot or it's heavy soot, it comes off at the same speed. With this, we really had to take our time. There's lots of going backwards and forwards, lots of to and fro. And as you'll see, we have to clean each of the 5 faces of the brick. So normally this isn't an issue. You can just clean the front face, or like you can angle the laser so you can clean 3 of the faces at once. But in this application, we had to go and clean each of the 5 sides. Once we had reached as far as we could from one side, it was time to move the van to the far side and see if we could reach. So we'd stepped it out and looks like we were good, but we had to get a little bit creative, lifting the fiber optic cable off the floor just to squeeze out an extra ½ meter of length here and there, which, look at that beautiful work, ended up being very effective. What you can see here is we've done little test patches along the ceiling. Then we sent off photos to the assessor/insurance company, and they got back to us and told us which panels they wanted cleaned and which ones were just going to get replaced.